Morjesta vaan hyvät ihmiset, TRMP:n yleisö. Tässä on taas Vimiksen ja me ollaan täällä kotikuntani Kuopion Animeconissa. Ja meillä on täällä, päästiin haastattelemaan hienoja herroja Amerikoista Spoony ja Ranskasta Pensai.
A pleasure as always.
Hey guys.
So, how are you?
We're doing great. It's always this is the first time I've ever been here. It's scary and exhilarating to be on the completely other side of the world.
Yeah, I'm coming back for a second year, and actually all year long, all I've been talking about was like Animecom being one of my favorite experience in terms of con, because it's a small con with like great events and great. Great guests and just simply a great venue and great people. So I couldn't wait to come back, especially to get some good Finnish food. So I'm definitely glad to be back here.
The food is fantastic, and I have never seen so many cosplayers and so many great cosplayers in one place. It's fantastic.
Exactly.
Almost everyone here is cosplaying.
Pretty much.
I've never seen that before. It's amazing.
How about the food? Finnish food?
The food is great. I can't believe the food. The candy is... I ate way too much candy in my time here. But, yeah, I've had reindeer for the first time. I'm about to have bear.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So it's a lot of firsts for me. It's amazing.
You have own game shows, and where come the idea to start to make own videos and game reviews and stuff?
Well, it didn't initially go to start off a game review show. I was initially going to start a show like Mystery Science Theater, which was kind of a comedy show based on bad movies, and that didn't really take off. And so, I saw a few people reviewing games, and so I thought I might just talk about that. And so it was very informal, and it was just when I started talking about Final Fantasy VIII that it actually made a lot of people very angry. And then I noticed my viewership count went through the roof because I made so many people angry. So I guess no publicity is bad publicity. And then I started taking it very seriously because it got so popular, or infamous, I guess. And so, hey, the rest is history. What about you?
As for me, I was really a big fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd, and back in 2007 or 6 even, I started actually translating and putting out subtitles to actually share the videos with my friend. And I thought it was absolutely crazy to have this kind of persona that talks about something that we can all relate to, and getting involved in forums and websites such as screwattack.com, RetroWare TV, or That Guy with Glasses. I thought, you know what, I think I can bring something to the table. I want to be a part of that community instead of just importing the concept to my language. I wanted to make sure I could step it up and actually get on with these guys, which sounds gay.
What do you think about that? Is it important to review or have own speciality like Angry Video Game Nerd has the NES games?
Well, it is important to have a specialty because, well, now more than ever, you have to stand out because there's so many people out there now reviewing something. You have to stand out because otherwise nobody will watch you. I mean, they have no reason to. And there's ways you can stand out. For instance, guys like Linkara, they review comics. There's not many people you can name that review comics.
I know, right?
And there's lots of various subgenres, like Ben here. I can't think of many people who review what he reviews. Really, can you?
Well, it depends. You can actually separate yourself from the mass, but in two ways, I think. Either you come out with a great flair, a great twist to the video formula, with really making it stand out, it's your signature video, but also what kind of content you're going to cover. It can also be that which is your specialty. It can be a very very let's say exercise style, pure formula single gameplay video, but if you talk about the right game, it could make or break you, really.
And it's not just that, but it's also what kind of style you bring to the review. Because you don't only review a certain type of game, it's the style you bring. You bring a certain attitude. to that game, and so do I, and so does the nerd. Everyone who does it brings that style to it. So it's kind of discovering that identity as well as choosing something in particular, to review. It's all about finding that identity, and so it's about finding that style as much as anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Back to the convention, you have been here a couple of times, and this is your first time. How does this Finnish Animecom differ than other conventions?
Well, like I said, the cosplay here, I've never seen as many people. The percentage of people who cosplay here is crazy. Yeah, exactly, crazy. The number of people who are interested in the guests, is phenomenal. There was so much interest in the panels here.
Yeah.
The musical guests, the fact that there's a concert here, and the fact that there was such interest in inviting musical guests here, is amazing. This is the first time I actually have not seen an interest in karaoke in a convention since like MagFest, which is great. I have been calling out for a convention to involve singing in like Rock Band forever, and I was so happy to see that at this convention. So yeah, I've enjoyed that.
It's crazy because like Finland, obviously, like it's not as big a country as like United States or even like France in terms of population, but like you have smaller scale, but you do everything right and stuff that sometimes we don't even get. Like I'm just coming back from Paris Japan Expo, biggest expo about Japan like in Europe. Like really, it's a yearly event to be at, and it sucks. It's sweaty. It's horrible. It's just like booth after booth. It's just the same kind of like stupid ass like katana sword that are sold for cheap, and basically like there's nothing to do. Whereas here like there's so many activities you can actually see and talk to the guests. Everybody like it's such a small community that's so very passionate that it. To me, like in terms of a con-going experience, it beats like all of those that I've been to, be it like in not just France but also like Ireland. Even though I had a great time in Ireland, but or Germany, just because like you have such a chilled out flair to make it happen and actually think of like very interesting activities for everybody. I mean, like the concert with the orchestra is just like fucking crazy, awesome, really.
There's also a much bigger Eastern focus, much more interest in anime. In the United States, there's a huge interest in Doctor Who, for instance. A crazy interest in Doctor Who. So yeah, the huge interest in anime. All the cosplay here you see is almost all of it is anime, which is actually kind of refreshing because I'm kind of tired of Doctor Who.
What do you think? Why Finnish people follow your shows?
That's a good question, right?
I don't know. I think the same reason anyone follows the shows is because, they play the games. They play the same games anyone plays, and they feel the same pain I felt. And besides, they took an interest. Like I said, there's an Eastern. They take an interest in the Japanese RPGs, probably a lot more so than Americans did. And so when I start talking about Final Fantasy, their ears pricked up and they listened, and so they were like, "Oh God, yeah, Final Fantasy 13 sucked," and it probably hurt them more than it hurt me. So man, they felt my pain, and I think that's probably it.
I think there's a specificity like with countries like Finland, but also Sweden, etc. Is that you guys were like at the forefront of like the internet boom, really, because like the internet like is like 10 years ahead in terms of like like how available is like high speed bandwidth, etc.
There's free Wi-Fi everywhere.
I mean, yeah, there's free Wi-Fi in an airport. Like I was like in Charles de Gaulle, biggest international airport in Paris. In France and one of the biggest crossroad of Europe, no free Wi-Fi, and there's free Wi-Fi in Helsinki, and that tells a lot about like the culture of like being like at the forefront of like saying like this is the future, like we need to actually have like the infrastructure to allow like everybody to have early access to the internet. I remember like people like playing Counter-Strike with like ping and great like response time like 10 to 15 years ago when I actually couldn't afford like even like a fucking like dial-up internet back in France. And I think like that tells a lot about like, you know, since we're doing like shows that are on the web, that are in English, the fact that we have a following in Finland actually I think derives from the fact that yeah, these guys actually look up for what's the next trend, and actually they're like really well lectured and versed into like looking out for what kind of entertainment they want to see. And what kind of, and so they're gonna grab it where it's at, because they're actually versed in that internet culture in which like they're some of the pioneers.
Yeah. And a question for Spoony: why do you start to review Final Fantasy games?
When did I start? Fairly early on, really. I don't
And
think
why? And when and why?
You know, I mainly started the show to talk about those games that affected me personally, those games that that caused me pain. You know, Bayou Billy, John Carpenter's The Thing. Those were games that really, when I was a kid or a teenager, pissed me off. Those were the games when I bought them as a kid. Those were like, I felt lied to. You know, and Final Fantasy VIII was one of them. And so, like, when I thought about games, like, which games did I really, really hate as a kid? Final Fantasy VIII was one of them. And I just started talking about that one. That was pretty much, I didn't know that was going to be a big thing. I didn't know that, oh, people are going to be pissed off about this. I was just like, I didn't like this game. And I started talking about it. And it was only when it started, you know, the first one made people mad. And so I was like, okay, I'll talk about it some more. And made people even madder. And I was like, I'll do it again. And so I kept doing it as long as people kept talking about it, and that's why.
How did you come up the idea to make GameFAQ?
Oh, just because, like, as I said in the panel this earlier today, I was raised with. I grew up playing.
He watches a lot of porn.
Yeah, I watched a lot of porn, and sometimes, like, even accidental, like, I would come across these kind of games. So they're part of my identity. Well, like, porn shaped me. So that's what happened. There you go.
It's like it's half my life. Why not?
Yeah.
I know porn.
I started when I was 10.
A while ago, there was a PS4 and Xbox One
Reveal.
a reveal. Yeah. What do you think about those?
You know, it almost doesn't matter what I think about that, because whether or not one is better or not, it's the same thing as SNES and Genesis. Was one better or not? No.
It's even closer to being the same exact same system than back in the SNES Genesis days. It's more like which is better between PS3 and Xbox. But when you really look at the big picture, they're pretty much the same system. And,
it is,
and they're going to be pretty much the same system.
It is. The big problem is that it was the public relations job done by Microsoft. It was horrible. You can't even talk about the consoles right now. Whether or not the DRM thing was a good thing or a bad thing, we'll never know.
Yeah.
You know, it might have, the whole cloud computing thing, it might have been the greatest thing ever. The fact that they backpedaled on it, you know, it really did mean that we're just going to get the same console cycle over again. But the fact that they explained it so poorly, the fact that they were so condescending about it, this was really one of the worst public relations jobs I've ever seen in my life. The fact that they were so smug, so condescending, so wrong about how they approached it.
I don't know, like, if you remember, like, just to compare, like, the first Wii U presentation, everybody thought it was an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. So, like, that tells something about, like, you know, sometimes these companies, they spend, like, so much money and they get totally off. Like, they get it so wrong. Yeah, but as far as it goes, like, I know I'm more excited this year to play Dead Rising 3 than I am to play any of the PS4 exclusives. So even though the PS4, since it's cheaper and it's basically the same system, it's the better system in terms of the, you know, like, just look at the Christmas race. But I will buy an Xbox One because I'm a Dead Rising fanboy, and the presentation I saw showed me, like, what I wanted to see.
Yeah, so instead of telling us that, oh, you can watch TV on your TV, instead of telling us you can watch people play games, you can watch people watch movies, we want to play games. Exactly. Show us games. Instead of telling us, you know, all the inconveniences we'll have to put up with, tell us why it's good.
And they didn't TV, sports.
Right. Don't tell us we can watch sports. We can watch sports now. Tell us why it's good. And they never did that. You know, it was just horrible what they did. And so it doesn't matter if the one was going to be better or the other. that's what I mean. So that's my thoughts on it.
There you go.
Final question: what do you want to say to your Finnish followers?
Thanks so much for watching. I can't believe there's so many of you. So and thanks so much for bringing me out here to meet all of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very humbling to know that there's so many of you overseas who watch who watch me.
Yeah, the feedback, and because like we're really like, you know, surprised and honored to actually come to Finland, because it's to us like it's such a faraway country, and it's amazing, and it's an amazing country, especially in the summer. It's awesome, but like it actually is even more humbling to actually see the passion of the Finnish fan who apparently like have seen every single video. Like, you know, they're not just like, you know, casual fans, or sometimes you come to other conventions that are about like, you know, as big or as small or whatever, and you know, you'll find like, you know, just a small percentage of people who know your shit, and within that percentage, like people who have seen actually everything. And here it seems that everybody that came to the panel knew exactly what we were talking about every time we would make a reference, and you know, like, you know, that tells a lot, and that's actually the best like present we could get.
These are diehard fans, and it's I'm humbled by it. So
I'm a fan.
Thank you so much. And so it really makes me feel good. It really helps me. It inspires me to go back and work twice as hard on this. And so, you know, I really felt beat down sometimes about what I do. It really helps meet fans face to face once again and see how it actually, what I do affects people. You know what I mean? You know, like people come up to me and say like, "Oh, Counter Monkey got me into role-playing games."
Yeah, I know,
and that's huge. You know, that's huge. How I've like changed people's lives in a way. It sounds silly. It is silly. You know, it's silly. Like it's games. It's games, but still, you know,
it's passion.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you both.
Hey, no problem.
Thanks.
No, thanks for having us.
Great to meet you both.
You're watching Real Main's Playground.
Yeah.
Ja meidät palataan taas takaisin astialle. Tämä oli Animecon, Vimis, Spoony ja Pensai.
Kiitos.
Kiitos.